Hey guys, as you know, the Steam Deck OLED was just announced today. I'm so excited. But what I didn't know was that a certain YouTuber, that isn't me, got their hands on it first, and they've actually done a review on it. And we're going to react to that review right now. And without further ado, that YouTuber is Dave2D. Yep, Dave2D. And I love this guy because he's super thorough with his reviews, and I'm excited to see what he's got to say about it, and I'm excited to see what it looks like in person. So let's get into it. And before we do, please check out our website, Pixel Buys. You'll love everything on there. Handheld gaming, tech, buying guides, Xbox, PS5, Steam Deck, you name it. It's all on there. Let's go. Before we get into it though, go check out Dave2D's full video over on his channel. I'll put a link to it down below. Let's go. Let's watch. Let's see what he's got to say.
Happen anytime soon. We had multiple publications stating that this wouldn't happen at all, but then it showed up in studio and I couldn't believe my eyes. A fully refreshed Steam Deck, and I mean fully refreshed.
Oh, look at that screen.
Of the system is new.
My goodness.
A larger OLED display. We have a new chip, a 6nm chip, more energy efficient. We have slightly tweaked sticks. The touchpad, the speakers are better, the battery's bigger, longer battery life. We have an improved thermal system.
So he's saying it's got obviously the new OLED screen. He's saying the sticks are tweaked as well. He's saying it's got better sound than the original Steam Deck. It seems like they've changed things across the board, which is surprising.
6nm chip.
And it's obviously on a smaller process, 6nm as opposed to 7nm chip process. That's going to save some battery.
We tweaked sticks. The touchpad, the speakers are better.
Did he put Hall sensor sticks in here?
Better. The battery.
I see the sticks are black.
Is bigger, longer battery life. We have
a lot longer battery life.
Improved thermal system.
Improved thermals, yep.
Let's just get right into it. Let's start off with the exterior dimensions, because that's one of the very few things that hasn't really changed per se. The biggest difference is like the
solar case is going to work just fine.
The presence of this new orange.
Ooh, orange button. That'll set them apart, the original to the new one.
Of it. Even the screen cutout is the same as the larger panel, but because of the thinner bezels, the old accessories all work. So the kill switch from D-Brand still fits perfectly, and same with their screen protectors.
Hold on a second, just as he mentions the kill switch case from D-Brand, don't get that. Get the JSOX mod case. It's much cheaper, a hell of a lot cheaper. Got more accessories, and it's just from an awesome brand. I love JSOX. Go buy the JSOX one. Mod case for your Steam Deck. Buy now. Links down below. Okay, let's get back to the review.
So this here is the previous model, like the original Steam Deck with its 7-inch display. So it was a 60 hertz panel, 400 nits, but the big issue with it was really the color reproduction. It just was not a particularly colorful or color accurate display.
Cannot echo that sentiment more. The color on the original Steam Deck was just lacking, to put, lack of a better word. The brightness was okay. The actual brightness, I was happy with the brightness. The resolution, a lot of people weren't happy with the resolution being a little bit less, and it was obviously 60 hertz. After having tried the ROG Ally, 120 hertz, so much better, and VRR as well. But yeah, let's get back to the review.
And I think when it comes to games, a lot of the kind of subtle details and visual nuance of games are just lost when you're displaying on a mediocre screen. But with this new panel, it's a different story. We've got a 7.4-inch OLED that runs 90 hertz, 600 nits brightness that goes up to 1,000 nits.
90 hertz. So we're also getting a freaking frame rate boost as well, from 60 to 90, and 200 nits bright. The Steam Deck screen was bright as it was, but 90 hertz and 600 nits, 200 nits more. 117 sRGB, 110p3 color. Let's go.
For HDR content, it'll peak up there. It's more energy efficient because it's OLED. It's got way better contrast. So the benefits of this display are immediately noticeable.
Look at the colors straight away.
And colorful games look awesome, like you'd expect. But even dark and moody games are significantly better because the blacks are just black instead of like a gray backlit pixel.
Oh yeah.
It's just so much nicer to look at. And also,
I just want to echo that again. OLED is a massive difference, guys, over a normal LCD, and I cannot stress how much of a big difference it is. Now, I used to have a Nintendo Switch, okay? I love my Switch, loved it, and then Nintendo announced the Switch OLED instead of a Switch Pro that I was wanting, and I sort of brushed it off. I didn't want to touch it, didn't want to buy it. I thought it was stupid until my wife got one and turned hers on, and I saw the screen pop up, come to life, like a literal sticker on the screen. That's when I knew OLED was a game changer in handheld consoles. Now, OLED looks good on TVs, but seeing it in a handheld console like the Switch at that resolution, absolutely mind-blowing. And you guys won't appreciate how much of an OLED makes difference-wise in terms of games until you have something like this. And believe me, this is worth buying. It really is. It doesn't come through on videos on YouTube, but believe me, when you get this thing in your hands, you're going to be blown away, even if you had an original Switch before, Steam Deck beforehand.
HDR content for the games that do support it looks awesome. Like the bright elements just blast out of the screen at 1000 nits. Now this display also is a 90 hertz panel, and on games that make use of it, like this one, Dead Cells, it's immediately noticeable. It's difficult to convey the kind of...
Subscribe to Dave 2D. You probably are already.
Watching, but...
Dead Cells in OLED?
Game,
what a good example
to 90
to show us.
Keep in mind, though, that there are other devices out there with significantly faster screens and more powerful processors, but the fact that the Steam Deck...
Lenovo Legion Go, we also did an unboxing and first impressions on that. Go watch that video. I've got that on my channel if you want to watch it.
To 90 is already a huge win in my books.
That is. It would have been nice if it was 120, but not many games can go up to 120 on the Steam Deck, to be fair.
It's not massively larger, so it's a little bit bigger, but I would say that the improvements that you get from the new Steam Deck do not come from the screen size, at least for me. It's also the same resolution, still 12.
So it's 7.4 inches as opposed to the original 7. That's 0.4 of an inch bigger. I think he's understating it a little bit. Of course, I'd love to see those bezels pushed right to the edge of the Steam Deck, like kind of like they are in the OLED Nintendo Switch. But still, they've shrunk the bezels down enough. I think it definitely looks like an improvement. Improvements on the top and bottom and the left side and right side.
Better. Now, one last thing. If you'll remember, Steam Decks come in 3 configurations. It's like the base model, and then the mid-tier, and then the top tier. But only the mid-tier and top tier are going to get this OLED refresh. So the top tier configurations, like this unit here, have this anti-glare etched glass finish to them. And the purpose of it is to kind of cut down some of the reflections. So this unit here does not have that etched glass coating. So if you're in a really bright environment or a brightly lit room, sometimes those reflections can be a little bit harsh, right? But here, they're diffused a bit. The problem is, though, because it's an OLED display, I feel like you lose some of the OLED properties. Like the popping colors and the really black blacks are...
Okay, that is a downside. I'm actually disappointed in that. That is one of my biggest gripes about the anti-glare version of the Steam Deck that I have, is that although they advertise it to be anti-glare, it's not anti-glare. If anything, it's worse than the original screen, the shiny reflective screen. Reason being is because it diffuses that light out over a larger space. You know, yes, it doesn't reflect as much of the light in one area, but it diffuses it across the whole screen, which, to be fair, it looks worse to me, and it also hurts the black levels and just the colors a little bit, frankly. Steam Deck. Valve, I wish you just put the freaking normal reflective screen on. The whole etched glass, it's got more cons than it has pros, in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's get back to the review.
The
reaction, I mean.
Matte finish on that etched glass. So as a demonstration, this is it's like a screen protector. This is going to be a very crude demonstration, but hopefully it gets the point across. If you give it a second for this screen to kind of fuse on, or the protector to fuse on,
look at that
difference in the color. Like, look at the black part of the menu there, right? On the left side is that etched glass. It's almost lost its true black nature because of the OLED, right? But on the right, with that smooth screen protector on it, it's still quite dark. So I'm just thinking, if you're going to purchase one of these things, unless you really care about brightly lit environments and you want to cut down those reflections badly, I would opt for the regular screen without that anti-glare property. The other thing is that if you get a screen protector, you put it on, it fixes it. But I'm just saying, with the anti-glare, you lose a lot of that OLED goodness.
Hold on a second. So is he saying there's a variant of the Steam Deck here, the new OLED, that doesn't have the anti-glare? All right, looks like I've confirmed it. Looks like he confirmed it, yes. So, okay, this is the OLED to get, unless you're wanting to get the special color variant here where all the cool red and the transparent shell. It looks like if you're wanting to get an OLED Steam Deck, get the 512GB one, because it doesn't have that crappy anti-glare etched glass coating. If you want deep blacks and super bright colors and vibrant colors, get the one without the etched glass. That's my opinion. And also, with the 512, you could also upgrade the storage to 2TB for super cheap later on anyway. That's the one to go for, unless you want the special color variant.
device also has slightly better sticks in the sense that the rubber top has a bit of a lip to it, so it's just nicer to grip. It's also a different ball joint color. It's black instead of
Okay, yeah.
But the shoulder
That's good.
also had a bit of an upgrade. So on the old one, I found that if you had longer fingers, if you just pressed that shoulder in a different spot, it wouldn't be a consistent press. Like, it would actuate nicely at the edges. If you brought it up to the top, if you had like longer fingers, it became harder and harder to press. And on the new one, the location of that button and the actuation point is different. So it's just like consistent.
That is a nice improvement. That is a really nice improvement, especially with the sticks there. The sticks, that's one of my biggest gripes with the Steam Deck sticks, is that they were very slippy.
And it's like a tighter click, as silly as it sounds. Okay, the haptics on this, actually they've changed the touchpad to be a little bit more, responsive, but there's also updated haptics, so a lot more precise. They're just like a tighter ping as you move around.
That's a welcome improvement.
The speakers are also a little bit louder and bassier than before.
Better speaker. The speakers on the current Steam Deck were pretty good as it is. Oh yeah, that's fuller. Wow.
All right, let's talk about performance. So the chip in here is new. It's running a 6nm chip compared to the 7nm chip that was in the previous.
Should have the same performance though.
The same clock speeds and the same kind of power draw. The RAM is also still at 16 gigabytes, but it's running a little bit faster at 6400 megatransfers per second. Now, because of that faster RAM, I was hoping that there'd be some kind of performance gains, but for my testing, if there is a performance bump, it's so slight I would consider it insignificant. At least
would love if they put 32 gigs RAM in this thing.
For most gamers. It does resume from suspended games a little bit faster though. But with that new chip, because it's 6nm, it is a little bit more energy efficient. And because of that, you have slightly less heat. And with less heat, wider fans don't come on as often, and fans that don't stay on as long. So any kind of gaming sessions were both cooler and quieter than the original Steam Deck. And then in addition to that more energy efficient,
not a massive difference,
energy efficient OLED screen, we also have a 25% larger battery. It's gone from 40 watt hours to
50 watt hours. Oh yeah.
All those three things, you just get better battery life. Now, Valve claims a 30 to 50% bump in battery life. From my testing, the really demanding games got a more modest battery life improvement, and the charging speeds are also a little bit faster this year. So the Steam Deck has always been easy to open, easy to repair, but this year they've done a few things to make it even better. So first, the screws. The old screw was this Phillips headed screw that I've stripped so badly on my previous Steam Deck. The new ones are these machine Torx screws.
Nice, okay.
Torx, you know anything about screws, that's definitely better. And to get inside, it's just a quick pull of the side plastic area.
Okay.
That's how I do it. And this
is it mirrored? Does the inside look a lot nicer?
Is the inside. Now the first thing I noticed was like, okay, the battery is a very similar shape to the previous generation.
Is it thicker?
This is, actually I should put them like this, like the earlier part.
Looks like they're using higher end components. Look at the red.
The old one's up top.
The tabs.
The new one is down here. So I thought, well, I was hoping that this new battery would be able to fit into the old battery spot, and then people could all get 50 watt hour batteries.
Oh, Valve, Nintendo, Valve is coming for you.
You can't. They look very similar in shape, but this new one's a little bit taller, and because of this framing, you wouldn't be able to fit this one into there, unfortunately. Okay, let's remove the shrouding here to take a look at the internals. The first thing that you should be aware of.
That's a surprising.
Everything has changed on the inside. So the good.
I was just about to think that. I've seen that.
Major refresh.
I mean, I was thinking that.
Bad news is that you can't just swap out parts. You can't just pick and choose the new things and put them to the old one to kind of update it. Unfortunately, the fan is a little bit bigger, better.
Nice.
And then on the side here, you'll notice that the SSD is in a similar position but different orientation.
Would it be nice if they went for a full-size SSD instead of the little small one?
But if you remove last year's SSD, you can see the Intel Wi-Fi card that was underneath it. This year, it's a much larger Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip. This is from a company called QuickTel, and it now supports Wi-Fi 6E as well as Bluetooth 5.3. And there's a
You're going to get better Bluetooth range and also faster Wi-Fi speeds with 6E.
Dedicated antenna just for the Bluetooth signal. If you look at the chip itself, it's about the same size as the 7nm chip from the previous generation. Now, in regards to pricing, Valve is running the same kind of pricing tiers as the original Steam Deck launch. So they have
Good job, Valve.
which
Good job.
unchanged. It's still the same original $399 model with 256 gigs of storage. But the mid tier and the top tier are these OLED refresh models with larger storage than before. So the mid tier has 512 gigs. The top tier has a terabyte of storage. I didn't even close this properly. And my thoughts on it are that I think the pricing is quite fair. I would say that considering all that you're getting, it's a very fair price. The thing that my mind goes to is like, I just did a video on Sony's PlayStation 5 refresh, like their updated kind of slim version. And the difference in just company mantra of what they're trying to do is wild. Like the Sony's PlayStation 5 Slim seems to be just focused on, you know, some kind of monetary gain for Sony. But here, this is a crazy refresh in the sense that
I know. Agree more, dude.
to do all these tweaks and adjustments for what the users actually want. And a lot of it was just,
This is exactly. This is a completely different company ethics here. Sony is doing a money grab with the PS Slim. It doesn't look that much different than the PS5 original one, the new PS5 Slim. That is. It's similar design, similar size. Really, no improvements at all. Just a redesign and shrunk in the shell. Pardon me. Shrunk in the shell a little bit. Whereas this, Valve, I've literally listened to the community, to what they wanted. OLED has been one of the number one things that the community has requested over and over, time and time again with the Steam Deck. And it seems with everything they've done here, people are not going to realize the amount of improvements that they made to the Steam Deck in this new, revised unit. But just about everything's improved, like you said. The speakers, the sticks, the thumb, the button, the shoulder buttons, the freaking screen, obviously, the thermals. Like, the list goes on. The audio, the touchpad, haptics.
unnecessary, but they just did it because
It's like a labor of love.
And also, the pricing. Like, this could have been so much more expensive.
Right.
I would have imagined.
It's the same price as the normal Steam Deck, the first one.
Kept the same kind of pricing with more storage. I mean, only Valve can pull this off because of the whole Steam thing and how they own it and how they're just making money. But just, it's so interesting how Sony did that and Valve did this. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up with a little demo of the case. Actually, something I keep wanting to talk about. This is 30 grams lighter than the previous version. I kept wanting to say that over the course of this entire video, but I didn't have the opportunity. It's a little
30 grams lighter.
difference, though. It's noticeable, but I would argue not particularly significant. So this is the new case. And it's a two-piece case.
Would be nice if they put a little hole in the case for charging.
I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but it makes it sound like a bikini. Two-piece in the sense that, well, it opens up like a regular case.
Oh, the case is different. It's got Velcro on it. Hello.
Go up front.
Interesting.
Open it up.
Okay.
White microfiber.
Nice.
But it also has a second
Oh.
functionality
Oh.
where
Oh.
inner case.
Oh.
Inner case allows you to transport the product in a lighter package. So this, right, this is a little bit more compact than that big case. So it's like a 2-in-1 case. But when you use this kind of slimmer case, you don't have the ability to store the AC adapter in the back, like the big case, like the original one. But yeah, a two-piece case. But there you have it. But if you are interested in one of these handheld devices, do keep in mind that the Steam Deck, as awesome as it is, even this new OLED version, it's not going to be as powerful as some of those Windows handhelds. If you're looking for AAA gaming with the smoothest and best frame rates, those will do a better job than this thing. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video.
Dave2D, go subscribe to him if you haven't already. What an absolute champion. His reviews are spot on every single time. As far as purchasing decisions go, whether it's a gaming laptop, whether it's headphones, keyboards, Dave2D is the man to go watch if you want top tier, non-biased advice. Okay, subscribe to him, please. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. So yes, he touched on at the end there about how Windows handhelds do it better in terms of performance-wise, because there are new APUs like the Z1 Extreme 7840U. Yes, these do performance better. Yes, they have better performance, I should say. I'm bad at wording things. They'd have better performance. They obviously have Windows on them. And that could be a blessing or a curse, depending on how you look at it. But I'm going to be frank with you guys, all right? We built this community around handhelds on the Steam Deck. And I'm going to stick to I'm going to stick to my guns. The Steam Deck is still the best console out there, in my opinion, and this just makes it even better. Performance-wise, it's not up, you know, it doesn't have the slight performance bump that these have, but the software is just second to none. SteamOS, Linux, it's just second to none. The way games are optimized, the way that they're trying to optimize games, they're pushing out updates for new releases constantly. They're really just refining it to just a level that these companies like Asus, Lenovo, Ioneo, no one else can do. No one else can do it like Valve does. And yes, the bad thing about SteamOS and the Steam Deck, obviously, is the fact that you lose access to a lot of games like that have DRM, obviously, like an anti-cheat, like Call of Duty, like just online games in general that have anti-cheat. You know, you're losing access to a lot of those games with the Steam Deck, which is unfortunate. But software-wise, hardware-wise, the Steam Deck is still king. It's still my favorite, and I'm going to buy this new OLED. And if you want a review on it, you know, stay tuned, because I will be getting my hands on one when it comes out. I'll be upgrading. I have to upgrade. Come on, I have to upgrade, and I think you should as well. And I'll also be doing a live stream on the 16th in the morning time, so if you want to join me for that and try and order one with me, please do. I would love if you join me. But yeah, I'm going to leave. I've got a Steam Deck to sell on eBay. Peace out. I love you guys. Take care. I'm Blaze2K. And go subscribe to Dave2D, please.
Let's go.